listening to Media Lex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening to us on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at facebook.com/offthecuff with Adam Banks to listen to us from anywhere in the entire world. You could stream the show from the station website at MediaLex.us. I am broadcasting from the WLXU studios here at MediaLex on North Limestone. It is April the 9th, 2026. College basketball is officially over. The Michigan Wolverines won the 2026 Men's Basketball National Championship, defeating UConn 69-63 to secure their first title in 37 years. They were led by Coach Dusty May. The Wolverines, they dominated through the entire tournament. They won every single game by double digits except the championship game. UConn did give them one heck of a game. I enjoyed the championship game. Sometimes you have championship games that are complete blowouts. They're boring to watch, but this one went down to the wire to the very end. And I love the fact that Dan Hurley never stops coaching. I noticed at the last of the game, he tried to draw a foul to get his players one more opportunity to win, but it wasn't good enough. So congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. This is their second title. They won their first one in 1989. They now have 2 national championships. There's not many college basketball programs out there that have won 2. Some have won 11, UCLA. Some have won 8, Kentucky. Some have won 6, UNC, UConn. But only a few have won 2. You have teams like Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, NC State, and now teams like Michigan winning 2 championships. Free throws is what won that game. Michigan made 98% of their free throws. They shot like 25 and made 23 of the 25 that they shot. That's how you win ball games. If you go out there and you make 98% of your free throws, it's hard to lose. And nothing was different for Michigan. They won the game based off their free throws. Had they missed just a couple of free throw opportunities, UConn might have pulled the win off. Thank God they didn't, because that would have made number 7 for UConn. I was in a way kind of rooting for that. I love a dominant team, but they're getting way too close to catching up with Kentucky. So it was a very significant win for Michigan. Dusty May, what an incredible coach. It's his second year with the Wolverines. He went to the Elite Eight his first year, and now his second year at Michigan, he's already won the national title. And before he even got to Michigan, he was at a no-name school, Florida Atlantic, and took them to the Final Four. I would say Dusty May is right in the batch of some of the great college basketball coaches that coach in the game today. So college basketball is officially now over. No more college basketball for 7 months. You will not see a ball bounce. So if the NBA is your thing, that's the only way you're going to be able to enjoy basketball for the next several months. And if you're a Reds fan or baseball fan in general, you've got that to look forward to. But I do miss college basketball around this time of year. It's always a little somber having it over, especially when you got so much excitement at the start of March, and then it's just completely disappears come early April. And I love college basketball. There is no other sport out there that I love more than college ball. You know what makes college basketball different than anywhere else? It is the rivals, the teams that rival each other. I watch for the storylines. I love the coaching storylines, but I also love the rivals. So most people think that it's March. Most people think it's the coaches. But folks, the rivals that these teams have in college basketball is what makes the sport that much more exciting. If we're talking about some of the best college basketball rivalries out there, I would say the number one spot is Duke and North Carolina. They're only 8 miles apart, same road, same recruits, same fans. They play twice a year in the same conference, the ACC, and they are always both relevant teams. And it's a special matchup every single time that these guys play. They were coached by the legendary Mike Krzyzewski at Duke. They were coached by legendary coaches at UNC, Roy Williams, Dean Smith. And anytime that you see one of these two teams play, anything goes. You never know who's going to win. It's a 50-50 shot, either one. I would say putting another team on that list, it would have to be Kentucky versus Louisville. Same state, completely different identities. Fans grow up choosing sides. There's no middle ground. You're either a Kentucky fan or you're either a Louisville fan. It's the culture here in this state. Even when one team is down, the game still feels massive when they play. If Kentucky's having a bad year, for some reason when they play Louisville, it's always a good game, and vice versa for Louisville. It's always better for the sport when both teams are good. When Louisville had that terrible coach, Kenny Payne, who only won like 7 games in 2 years at Louisville, I hated that. A part of me loved it because I don't like Louisville, but a part of me hated it as well, because the sport is better when Kentucky and Louisville are good. And it makes for an interesting Thanksgiving dinner conversation, because that's usually around the time these two teams play. And I'm telling you, you've either got Kentucky fans or you've either got Louisville fans. There's no middle ground for that rival. I would say another great college basketball rival is the Kansas Jayhawks taking on Missouri Tigers whenever they do. I mean, they are people who, I would say, for the most part, those two teams, when they get together, it's always a rival. It's the hate. It's the championship pride that these two teams have. Kansas is always trying to defeat Missouri because they're not too far from one another. I would say that Indiana Hoosiers, whenever they play Purdue, that's a big rival. It's in-state. It's blue-collar versus blue-collar. It's generational. Families pass it down, the tradition. It's special because it doesn't need national stakes to feel huge whenever you watch those teams play. It's pure basketball pride. It's no flash. It's just hate. Michigan Wolverines versus Michigan basketball. Michigan versus Michigan State is what I was trying to spit out. That one always feels personal. It's big brother versus little brother. Same state, different identities. Michigan State's always considered to be a better program. And it's funny because Michigan just won the national title. So who's laughing now? Michigan State has 2 titles, and now Michigan has 2 titles. So that championship win only made the rivalry for Michigan versus Michigan State that much more intense. You got to throw Cincinnati versus Xavier in there as a big basketball rival. Same city. Literally, they share Cincinnati. It's public versus a private school. And it's the players and the fans, they don't like each other. If you're a Cincinnati fan, you don't like Xavier fans, and vice versa. This one occasionally stops being a game because the hate is so real. I remember one time these two teams were playing and they got into a physical brawl. One of the biggest physical brawls in college basketball history happened at the Cintas Center, or maybe it was at the U.S. Bank Arena. It was a home Cincinnati game when these two teams were fighting it out on a regular season game. They were just facing each other. The intensity was high. The emotions were running at an all-time level, and just a knockout, drag-out brawl happened between these two teams. UCLA, whenever they take on USC, that's a big basketball rival. It's LA dominance. They're always competing who owns the city. Is it USC? Is it UCLA? Now, UCLA goes into the top 5 best college basketball programs of all time by default because of the amount of national titles they won. Now, some could argue that because all national titles, most of the titles that they won, 10 of them, were won under one decade, under one coach. And that was a completely different era of college basketball back when John Wooden was winning all of those titles. And I think that those are some of the best college basketball rivals out there. What do you think makes a rival real? Is it the hate? Is it the history? Or is it the championships? I would say it is all three. And let me ask you folks, which rivalry would you drop everything just to watch? Out of all the teams that I told you that I considered the biggest rivals in college basketball, what's the game that you would stop everything just to watch? If you like college basketball, you do have a favorite rival. If you have a favorite team, they've got a rival. It might not be a well-known national rival. For instance, I went to Morehead State. Their big rival is EKU. EKU and Morehead State's not a national rival. The country doesn't drop everything just to watch those two teams play, but they still have a rivalry with one another. Maybe not so much anymore since EKU dropped out of the OVC and no longer plays Morehead State in the same conference. I don't even know when's the last time they played. They might still keep them on the schedule, but I am not sure. But college basketball is now officially over. If you missed any of the big moments from the March Madness tournament, you are in luck because Off the Cuff with Adam Banks did a March Madness series where we talked about some of the biggest moments of the tournament. It's a 4-episode series. All of those episodes are available on podcast. I want to thank Zach Kahn, Jordan Knatzer, and Chad Rainwater for helping me co-host that series. But folks, we do have a great show ahead of you today. You are listening to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
This is AJ, host of The Playbook. You are listening to MediaLex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
MediaLex thanks Barnhill Chimney Company for being an amplifier of the voice of the people. BarnhillChimney.com.
MediaLex is grateful to Founder Circle member Father James Sitchko for their generous investment in our mission, a level of exceptional giving that reflects the spirit of our founder and community champion, Deborah Hensley.
What should you do with your old electronics? Never place old electronics in your blue recycle cart. Instead, you should bring old electronics to the Electronics Recycling Center. String lights and other electronics can be recycled there throughout the year, 6 days a week. Just pull up in your car and place the items on the carts outside the door. This service is for Fayette County residents only. For more information, visit lexingtonky.gov/ewaste.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. This is probably Britney Spears' most iconic song. It's the first song that she released when she popped up on the music scene. Everybody identifies Britney Spears with this song, Baby One More Time. Now, this was written by Max Martin, but you know the interesting thing about this song was not originally written for Britney Spears. It was supposed to be a song written for TLC. Remember that group from the 90s? But they declined. They felt like the lyrics didn't match their image or their style, so the song went to Britney Spears. And here's the thing. This is arguably Britney Spears' most recognizable song. It was number 1 in 20-plus countries when she released it. It was one of the best-selling singles of all time. And it launched Britney Spears into stardom. So I wonder, in situations like this, does TLC look back with regret? Or is it just one of those things where they think that everything happens for a reason? I mean, maybe TLC would have recorded this and the song would have been a flop. The world will never know. But it made me start thinking, folks, of all of the hit songs out there that are identified with other artists. When you hear this song, you think Britney Spears. There are so many hit songs out there that were originally offered to someone else before the person who actually ended up with it made the song famous. And this is just an example of one of them. So I have compiled a list here of some songs that were originally meant to go to other people. They were offered to other people, but they declined them. And Baby One More Time was one example. Here is another one. Umbrella, which was written by The Dream and Tricky Stewart. This song, everybody knows Rihanna sings Umbrella. But this song was originally intended for Britney Spears. Britney, she turned it down. She said she felt like this song didn't match her style. After Britney turned it down, it was offered to Mary J. Blige. She declined it. And then Rihanna took it. And now look how successful this song is. This song was #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks. It won a Grammy, and it became Rihanna's career-defining breakout into superstardom. Now, Kelly Clarkson, she's had many hits over the years. The first American Idol. And this is one of her biggest hits, Since You've Been Gone. But this song was originally intended to go to Pink. Pink turned it down, and then it was offered to Hilary Duff. And then Hilary Duff declined. They both said that Pink passed on it because she felt like it didn't match her style. Hilary Duff passed on it because she said it didn't match her voice. And I have to agree. I mean, this is a perfect song for Kelly Clarkson. Can you imagine anybody else singing it? This is a massive global hit. It defined Kelly Clarkson's career, and it helped her go from pop to a little bit of a rock sound, which is a sound that she kept the rest of her musical career. It's frequently ranked as one of the best pop songs of the 2000s. Rock Your Body by Justin Timberlake is another one. This song was written by Pharrell Williams. Pharrell is a talented artist in himself, but he's also a very great songwriter. And he wrote this song for Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson declined it. He said he didn't select it for his album at the time. He wanted the song, but he didn't want to put it on the upcoming album that he had coming out. He wanted to put it back in the vault and save it for another album. Well, Pharrell was very impatient and passed the song to Justin Timberlake. Again, this helped establish Justin Timberlake's solo career post NSYNC. Had Justin Timberlake not came out with this song, his solo career might have went a completely different way. It's a top 5 Billboard hit, and it's a banger. One of my favorite JT songs. Now, Telephone by Lady Gaga is another one. This was written by Lady Gaga, but she wrote this song for Britney Spears. Britney Spears seems like the type of person who is hard to please. She didn't really care much for this song. She recorded a demo, but it didn't make the final cut to be one of the selected tracks on her album. So Lady Gaga ended up keeping the song for herself, and it became a top 10 worldwide hit. And not only is it a great song, but the video that Lady Gaga recorded for this song won several awards, including an MTV Video Music Award. I would say this is probably one of Lady Gaga's biggest songs, not her biggest, in the top 5, top 10. Now, this next song is We Found Love. This was written by Calvin Harris, and this was originally intended for Leona Lewis, but it ended up going to Rihanna. Leona Lewis, not Rihanna. Leona Lewis declined it because of the timing of the album coming out. Calvin was really wanting this song to get out to the public. Leona Lewis was having problems with the release of her album. There was all this pushback on when she could release it. So it just didn't work out for her to get this song. And then it ended up going to Rihanna. Now, this song was a #1 hit song for 10 weeks on the Billboard Top 100. It's one of the biggest hits of the 2010s. I remember when this song came out. Now, it's not one of my favorites, but it's instantly recognizable. Everybody knows Rihanna sings this, but it was almost not Rihanna's song. It was almost Leona Lewis's. Imagine how different it would have sounded. Now, this song right here has a special place in my heart. This is Happy by Pharrell, and the reason this song holds a special place in my heart because this was the very first intro music for Off the Cuff with Adam Banks when I started this show as a podcast back in 2014. Now, Pharrell wrote this song, and it wasn't originally supposed to be a song that he performed. He wrote it for another artist. It was intended for CeeLo Green. Now, I feel like that CeeLo's voice would have matched this song. Him and Pharrell kind of have a similar sound, but everything works out for a reason, folks. Everything works out the way it's supposed to. Because of scheduling conflicts and timing, CeeLo Green did not pick up this song. Pharrell kept it. It became a global #1 hit. It was Oscar nominated and one of the most recognizable songs of the decade and one of my personal favorite songs of all time. Hence why it was at one time Off the Cuff's theme song. You already know who sings this without me even having to tell you. This is Irreplaceable by Beyonce. But again, it was not supposed to go to Beyonce in the beginning. Ne-Yo wrote this song for himself, and he wanted to put this on his album. He recorded a demo, but producers felt like it worked better with a female perspective rather than a male perspective. So he sold the song to Beyonce. And this song became a massive hit, #1 for 10 weeks. And it's one of Beyonce's signature songs. I would say besides Single Ladies, it's this one. It's amazing when some of these songs on the list are some of these particular artists' biggest hit they've ever had, and to think that it almost wasn't meant to be for them to sing it. The fact that they almost didn't get this song is mind-blowing. All right, this next one is Don't Ya. The Pussycat Dolls were the ones that ended up with this song, but it was originally supposed to go to an artist named Tori Almays. I think it was a good idea to pass it along to the Pussycat Dolls because I don't even know who Tori Almays is. This song was written by CeeLo Green, and the Pussycat Dolls took it over. It became a defining pop hit of the 2000s, #2 on the Billboard charts, and one of the Pussycat Dolls' biggest songs. Now, when Miley Cyrus started to break out on her own as a solo artist, when she was trying to shake off the Hannah Montana image, this was one of her first big hits with going solo. This was written by Jessie J, Dr. Luke, and Claude Kelly, and this was originally intended for Jessie J. But Jessie decided not to keep it because she felt like this song was suited for another artist, and she sold the song to Miley Cyrus. This song became a #2 Billboard hit and one of Miley's most iconic songs of all time. Anytime Miley's doing a concert, no matter how many years pass, they call for this song to be sang. This next one is Bleeding Love. Bleeding Love was written by Ryan Tedder and Jesse McCartney. And Jesse McCartney was supposed to be the one to get this song, but it ended up going to Leona Lewis, and that's who you're hearing right now. This was a massive hit, #1 in 30 plus countries, one of the biggest global hits of the 2000s. The power behind Leona's voice, I don't think could have been replicated, especially by Jesse McCartney. Where is Jesse McCartney these days? He's not on the Disney Channel. He's not on Nickelodeon. Is he even making music anymore? I mean, that dude was huge in the early 2000s. But I guess when you're passing up songs like Bleeding Love, no wonder you fall off the map, because you're giving all your best songs to other artists. Sometimes, folks, you want to keep the songs that you write. Now, I'm sure that these writers that sold these songs, they get some profit off the success, depending on the deal and how the deal's drawn up when they make the sale of the song. So I'm sure Jesse put it in his agreement that he would make money off of this song, and I'm sure he did, because it was #1 for weeks. But imagine if he would have kept it. We would still be hearing about Jesse McCartney, but he declined it. Now, this next one, folks, is one of the most recognizable pop songs of all time. This is Toxic by Britney Spears. This song was originally meant for another artist, Kylie Minogue, who I also have no idea who that is. She felt like it didn't fit her album direction at the time, so she passed the song to another artist. Britney Spears picked it up, won a Grammy for this song, and became one of Britney's most famous songs. Now, this is another one, Shape of You by Ed Sheeran. This is another song that was a #1 song in multiple countries, one of the most streamed songs ever. This was written by Ed Sheeran, but it was originally intended to be sang by Rihanna. But Ed Sheeran realized it fit his own style better, and he had second thoughts. He got cold feet when he went to sell this song, and he decided to keep it for himself, and it worked out for him, because this is one of the most popular songs that Ed Sheeran has. Shape of You. When you write a banger like this, how are you going to sell it off to another artist? All right, this next one here is Disturbia, and Rihanna, we know, is the one who ended up with this song, but this song was originally intended for Chris Brown. Chris Brown wrote this song. Now, everybody knows that Chris Brown and Rihanna had a very controversial, intimate relationship. So I am guessing that when they were dating, they were probably writing music together, and he wrote this, and he just passed this song along to his girlfriend. But man, you gave up a massive hit because, again, a #1 song, and it's one of Rihanna's darker standout sounds. It's one of the songs that really stands out, that's different from what Rihanna usually sings. Now, Usher has many hits. This is one of his biggest ones, Burn. But this was originally supposed to be for Jermaine Dupri, who wrote the song, but he passed because he felt like that this song could have better justice if it was sang by a vocalist with a wider range. So it went to Usher, and this became a #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 and one of Usher's biggest hits, Burn. You've also got Let Me Love You, written by Neo. It was originally intended for Neo, but he passed around this song to different artists, and then he was trying to find somebody to sing this song besides himself, and it ended up going to Mario. number one on the Billboard hit, number one on the Billboard Hot 100, one of Mario's signature songs, Let Me Love You. Now, Whitney Houston, any song that she sings, I mean, that woman could sing the phone book and it's going to be a number one hit. This is one of her big hits. It's one of her earliest classics. One of the first number one hit songs that she had. This song was originally supposed to go to Janet Jackson, but Janet declined the song, saying she felt like she didn't connect with the song. So Whitney Houston picked it up, and now we have what we have. Here's another one all about that bass. It was written by Meghan Trainor. It was originally intended for another artist. She wrote this song with the intention of selling it. It never did go to another artist, though. At the end of the day, she decided to keep the song, to record it for herself. And the decision paid off because this song was number one for 8 weeks. It was a breakout global hit for her as well. Now, this next one is one of Aerosmith's biggest songs. And it's interesting because this is one of the only slow songs that Aerosmith sang. This is I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. It was written by Diane Warren. And it was originally written for a film. And it was supposed to be recorded by a no-name artist for a movie, but the producers wanted a big rock voice to sing this song. So, Aerosmith took it, and it became the band's only number one hit. Think about that. Aerosmith. No other number one hits out there. Of all the iconic songs that Aerosmith sang, this is the only song that became a number one hit for that group. And they almost didn't even get to record it. All right, we've got one more song. And it's a song by the Black Eyed Peas, Where Is the Love? A global number one hit, one of the defining songs of the 2000s. This was originally intended for Justin Timberlake. He recorded a demo, recorded vocals, but didn't really like it after he recorded it. So Black Eyed Peas ended up keeping the song and recorded it for themselves. And it paid off because, again, one of their most recognizable songs. And that, folks, is just a list of hit songs that were originally intended for somebody else. So, folks, you never know. You really never know. And you always want to be cautious before you make a final decision on giving up on a song. If you're an artist out there and you wrote a song and you're thinking about selling it, think about it long and hard. If anything, listen to this segment before you sell off your song, because some of the biggest songs out there were originally intended to go to somebody else. But as fate would have it, it ended up in the right hands. That's why we still talk about these particular songs today. All right, folks. This seems like a great place to take another break, and we've still got lots more Off the Cuff with Adam Banks coming your way. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. I am Adam Banks, the host of Off the Cuff, and you are listening to MediaLex Radio, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
MediaLex is grateful to Founder Circle members John and Laurel Caddo for their generous investment in our mission, a level of exceptional giving that reflects the spirit of our founder and community champion, Deborah Hensley.
Nilivyo hapa naongea mtangazaji wa kipindi Proudly African, na nilikuwa nataka kuwaalika msikilize kipindi changu Proudly African tunapoongelea vizuri vya Afrika kila siku ya Jumamosi saa 7 kamili kwenye Media Lex Radio WLXU mstari wa 93.9 FM Lexington, Kentucky.
Join the 2026 Central Kentucky Black Family Conference, Saturday, April 4th at the Campbell House in Lexington. Enjoy a full day of connection, art, culture, and community with health, youth leadership, maternal wellness, violence prevention panels, and an evening AATCLC No Mental Poetry and Youth Arts competition. Presented by Project Ricochet. Stronger together, strengthening our bonds. Learn more and register today at kyblackfamilyconference.com or projectricochet.org.
MediaLex only exists in our community because of the generosity of signal boosters like Fred Moreland. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to the voice of the people. To learn how you can become a signal booster, visit medialex.us/donate.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. This has happened several weeks ago. Back in March, I can't believe I've yet to talk about this, but Chuck Norris, the veteran martial arts world champion, action hero, and early 2000s internet meme inspiration, whose rugged demeanor was immortalized on his hit show Walker, Texas Ranger, has unfortunately died at the age of 86. I didn't think Chuck Norris could die, but he did. He had an unidentified medical emergency in Hawaii on the Thursday of the week he died. Chuck Norris, he was the ultimate tough guy. He was not only a great, well, I don't want to say he was a great actor. He was a great human being. He was a good Christian man. He had good morals, good values. But man, you don't mess with Chuck Norris, not just because of what he could do on TV, but what he could do to you in real life. I mean, the man invented his own martial arts moves. There is a whole set of moves that is still taught today in the world of martial arts because of Chuck Norris. He was a master at martial arts. And he could literally kill you with his bare hands. Don't get into a fight with him. You will lose. He ended up having a semi-big movie career, but none like his television career when he starred in Walker, Texas Ranger from 1993 to 2001. Chuck Norris, he played Cordell Walker, which was a veteran Texas Ranger who fought crime in Dallas throughout the Lone Star State. He was nominated for a TV Guide Award as favorite actor in a drama in 1999. No other big awards. It's not really his best acting performance, but man, Chuck Norris doesn't need to be a good actor. It was just cool to watch him because you knew some of the stuff that he was doing on his television show, you knew he could do in real life. It was a ridiculous television show. I remember there was just so many silly scenes in Walker, Texas Ranger. Like one time, Walker was walking in this field, and he stopped and licked the dirt. And he was like, a plane has crashed here. How in the world do you know a plane has crashed on ground by licking the dirt? Well, apparently Chuck Norris knows how to tell if a plane has crashed just by licking the ground. But it was little silly things like that Walker would do on his show that made the show just something you couldn't turn away from. Just couldn't turn away from. And he became a spokesman for Bowflex. He became the face of Bowflex for many years. He was on many workout commercials. He was one of the biggest reasons Bowflex was so successful in the 90s, because Chuck Norris was the spokesman. When you have somebody as strong and as tough as Chuck Norris recommending a piece of workout equipment like the Bowflex, it got people interested. I couldn't think of a better person to have be the face of my workout equipment rather than Chuck Norris. I wonder how much money Bowflex paid Chuck Norris. He made a killing, I'm sure, off of his martial arts career, his speaking engagements, his career as an actor, but I'd say the bulk of his money came from those infomercials he would do for Bowflex every day at 2 a.m. in the morning. You would wake up in the middle of the night, you would see Chuck Norris on television doing a Bowflex ad. I really hated to hear that Chuck Norris did pass away. Very sad, very sad. He's taught many people, many celebrities how to do martial arts. Some of his famous students were Priscilla Presley, the Osmonds, Steve McQueen, and Bob Barker, who famously recounted cracked ribs after being kicked in the side by Norris during training. I mean, man, if you're going to have anybody break your ribs, might as well be Chuck Norris. Think about that story that you could tell. Have you ever broken a bone, Adam? Yeah, Chuck Norris broke my rib one time. I mean, I would say that any day. I mean, it's better than just cracking your rib, right? Think about that story that Bob Barker got to tell. Yeah, I got my ribs cracked by Chuck Norris. No big deal. But there you go, folks. That right there is the life and legacy of Chuck Norris. Very sad to hear that he passed away, 86 years old. It's nothing to scoff at. A very long life. I'd take it today. If my time ended at 86 years old, hey man, you can't ask for a longer life than that. Because usually after 86, I mean, you can do some things. Maybe some more than others. But for the majority of people, after 86, things just keep getting worse and worse and worse. The mental decline, the physical decline of your body, it just starts to decay. While you live, you literally start rotting almost as a 90-year-old and above. So 86, he got out at the right time, I feel like, a great age. So I'm glad to hear that he lived a long life, a very successful life, and a very happy life. All right, folks, we're going to take Off the Cuff's Song of the Week break, and this song is going to be by a boy band that is making waves, BTS. It's a phenomenon. When I have students in my class do informative speeches, I guarantee you 7 or 8 of them are doing their speeches over this band. It's a Korean band, BTS. So the song of the week will be Body to Body. We'll be back after it's over. Man, the weather is getting pretty outside. I think it's a crisp 76 degrees right here, right now in Lexington. Sun is shining, a lot more traffic on the road because people are getting out because it's pretty. Keeneland is finally open here in Lexington. Keeneland opened, I believe, last weekend. So this is the first full week of Keeneland. A lot of people I've been seeing posting pictures of them at the horse track, betting on the ponies, with their little, whatever you call the little drink that people always get at the Derby, and the mint julep. You see a lot of people with their mint juleps, their little straw hats, the women with their little round, huge hats, and it's just culture. If you want a good, perfect picture of what Kentucky looks like, go out to Keeneland and you will see it. All right, folks, we've got one more segment to go. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Join the 2026 Central Kentucky Black Family Conference, Saturday, April 4th at the Campbell House in Lexington. Enjoy a full day of connection, art, culture, and community with health, youth leadership, maternal wellness, violence prevention panels, and an evening AATCLC No Mental Poetry and Youth Arts competition. Presented by Project Ricochet. Stronger together, strengthening our bonds. Learn more and register today at kyblackfamilyconference.com or projectricochet.org.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Last segment of the hour. Now that basketball is over, that means the Masters begins. The Masters begins today. It's held from Thursday to Sunday of every first week of April, and this year it takes place from April the 9th to April 12th. It's one of the world's most prestigious sporting events in which golfers are invited to compete based on their past achievements, and they get a chance to win several $1 million, a gold medal, and a lifetime invitation to the event. And everybody's fighting for that iconic green jacket that you get to wear if you win the Masters. Now, if you win the Masters tournament and you get first place, how much do you get? You're going to be shocked. The winner gets $15 million. No wonder it's high stakes. Win one Masters tournament, you're set for life. Jack Nicklaus, he has won the most Masters. He's won 6. So what's 15 million times 6? A 63 is the lowest ever golf score seen at the Augusta National Golf Club, where the Masters is held. Here are some fun facts about the Masters tournament. The tradition of the green jacket, which is bestowed on the winner each year, started in 1937. The Masters tournament has a strict no cell phone policy, and any user found using a cell phone will get kicked out of the event. Good luck with that. I mean, that might have worked 15, 20 years ago, but how do you regulate nobody being on their cell phones when you've got so many people attending the Masters? How do you keep people off? I'm sure there's people that slip through the cracks, but if you do get caught, you're out of there. The food and drink menu at the Masters tournament is beloved and budget-friendly, which includes their famous pimento cheese sandwiches. The players are encouraged to skip golf calls across a lake at the front of the 16th tee and green. And listen here. The club had its first 2 female members in 2012, not that long ago, which is shocking. And from 2019, women golfers started participating in the membership a week before the Masters tournament in the Augusta Nationals Women's Amateur Championship. Now, the Masters is cool because it is one of those high-stake games. I mean, the winner gets $15 million for crying out loud. And it's the first big major golf outing to kick off the golf season. A lot of people are starting to golf. The weather's getting pretty. This is golf season. So next week, I'm sure we will cover who actually took home the green jacket and who took home the Masters. It will wrap up this upcoming Sunday. And it's just a good way to kind of unwind from all of that action-packed basketball that we were watching for the last month. Golf is so much more slow-paced, and it's such a professional sport. It's classy. It's an American sport. I love it. I'm a big golf fan. I enjoy golfing. Don't really want to say I enjoy watching golf, but the Masters is something that I watch because of just the stakes, and it's kind of just an American event. It's a part of our American culture, so why not? All right, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps up another episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. If you liked what you heard today, you'll probably like all of our previous episodes. We archive them all on podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you stream your podcast. You can follow the show on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow me, the show host, at The Adam Banks. We release new episodes every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM, which means we will be back same time, same place next week. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the King of Radio, and this is Off the Cuff. I'll catch you down the road.